was the wizard of 1,000 kings, and I chanced to meet him one night wandering. He told me tales, and he drank my wine. Me and my magic man kind of feeling fine. He had a cloak of gold and eyes of fire, and when he spoke I felt this deep desire to free the world from its fear and pain, and help the people to feel free again. Why don't we listen to the voices in our hearts? For then I know we'll find we're not that far apart. Everybody's got to be happy, everyone should sing. For I know the joy of life, the peace that love can bring. Thus spoke the wizard in his mountain home. The vision of his wisdom means we'll never be alone, and I will dream of my magic night and the million silver stars that guide me with their light.
Hi, and welcome to the David Alexander Infinite Energy series here on YouTube. My name is Bjarne Troften. This is video 15, which is the 5th video in our new format. And now, let me introduce you to my good friend, David Alexander. And David, what kind of treats do you have up your sleeve for us today?
Yes, Bjarne, and welcome to our viewers. Today, I really want to start discussing actual infinite energy hardware, where there is more measured energy coming out compared to the measured energy going in. These are examples where I know or have reason to believe the supporting evidence is real. I would like to start with the work of an inventor I met 40 years ago.
Okay, David, that sounds interesting. Could you please give us some background information, the who, what, where, and when perhaps? Something that could paint a little bit of a background picture for our viewers about what you are about to share with us today.
You bet. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. During late 1980s, some friends who knew about my infinite energy, free energy quest told me about a man they knew in Baltimore who researched this topic. An appointment was made, directions were given. So in November 1980, I was preparing to visit a man named Gordon Jacky.
Gordon Jacky. Our viewers might not have heard about him before, so before introducing us to his work, tell me, how were you feeling and what were your thoughts before you went to meet this Mr. Jacky?
Back then, I was quite shy, so meeting someone for the first time was a big deal. But meeting him and shaking hands with him when entering his house put me at ease. He was kind. In fact, he spent the better part of the afternoon talking with me and teaching me. And when I first entered his living room, I experienced a burst of excitement.
Burst of excitement entering his living room. What caused that?
The entire surface of his living room floor was totally covered with patents, drawings, sketches, articles, and books, all by or about none other than the man, Nikola Tesla. As you know, I have always been fascinated by Tesla's work, as I am sure many of our viewers have as well. So I knew then it was going to be an interesting afternoon. And in fact, it was.
Wow, so Nikola Tesla was involved. Did Gordon show you something based on the ideas of Nikola Tesla then, about how Tesla's ideas might have influenced his own work?
I don't know. I didn't drill down on the Tesla connection as much as I should have. All I can do now is to show what he showed me. So he had two heater cones, such as these, that you plug them in and they get really hot. But he had them aiming head on, so to speak. And there's reflectors behind these. He had the rims of the reflectors, and all electrical wiring was insulated and sealed to be waterproof. And this entire assembly was immersed in a plastic tank containing a measured amount of water. Now, please note, I personally do not recommend trying this at home, because a water leak into the electrical parts of the system could turn out to be very dangerous. The rate of increase of output energy as heat into the water could be readily calculated from the measured mass of water and the rate of increase of the temperature of the water. The rate of electric energy input to the system, which is electric power, was measured electrically. Mr. Jacky measured the rate of output energy into the water to be 10% more than the rate of electric energy into the apparatus.
Okay, so he actually had these two devices facing each other in a tank of water and created excess energy. Did he show this to someone else? Did he try to publicize these experiments?
Yes to both questions. He told me he had contacted a professor at a local university who agreed to check out the experiment. The experiment was repeated in the professor's lab, and the 10% excess energy output was observed again.
Wow, well, getting the help of a college professor should have given him a pretty good level of credibility. What happened then?
Gordon told me that the professor agreed that the measurements were accurate and that the measured energy coming out was indeed 10% greater than the measured energy going in. When he asked the professor if they could jointly publish a paper on this phenomenon, the answer was simply no.
So the professor bailed out. Why? What is going on here, David? I know you've told me that this happens quite often in these kinds of situations.
Indeed it does. Looking back in history, the so-called law of conservation of energy was never more than an assumption. But it's been stated so many times that it is believed to be a law of nature. It is not. Some devices or systems will show no over-unity, but...
Hold on there, David. So, over-unity. You have explained that concept to me before, but in case our viewers are not fully familiar with the concept of over-unity, why don't you give us a quick explanation of it?
That's an excellent suggestion. Many physical experiments or systems will always have the measured energy coming out equal to the measured energy going in. That is, no over unity. However, if certain parameters are present, then it is possible to measure more energy coming out than the measured energy going in. The devices that do show measurable over unity are generally forbidden to be tested, or, as in the case of Gordon Jacky, no one has the courage to attempt to publish the results in scientific journals. Then many academics say, where is the evidence for over unity? The professors who go against the consensual reality of academia could very possibly lose their jobs.
That is very sobering. So, in other words, because they don't believe it should be possible, they decide it is not possible. The very definition of consensual reality, as we talked about in some detail in video 14 regarding the Wright brothers. Imagine where science could be if it focused more on the results of actual experiments rather than assumptions. So David, then, why did Gordon Jacky's experiment show an over unity energy output, and where do you think that the excess energy actually came from?
I would say the heat, photons, reflecting back and forth at all possible angles after leaving the two aligned heater cones is an example of the parameter of rotation, which may allow there to be an over unity energy output. In subsequent videos, we will be presenting other parameters which I believe cause excess measured energy output compared to the measured energy input. Further down video road, we will present ideas on where I believe the extra energy actually comes from.
Well, thank you, David. We will be looking forward to that, as I really believe you are bringing forth new and important information and ideas in these videos. If you are watching and decide to give us a thumbs up, we would be very grateful, and if you subscribe and click on the bell, YouTube will let you know when we post our next video. So, until next time, we say thank you for watching and see you next video.